Webinar. My name is Frazer Brooks from Helping You Succeed, FrazerBrooks.com, and basically I want to actually show you how to be a success in network marketing today. I want to show you how you can actually start now, how you can actually become a successful network marketing professional. So with that being said, I'm going to dive right into it. I'm actually, this potentially could be my biggest ever webinar that I've ever done, to be fair. So if we hit that number, I will make a shout out to it. So we're actually very close to it already, and we're just getting started. So to be successful in network marketing, all you have to do is what? What do you think it is at home? If you've got a piece of paper and a pen, write down what you think it is to be successful in network marketing. All you have to do is what? What do you think it is? I'll give you a few moments to do that. Whilst I do that, I hope you actually can go to www.FrazerBrooks.com and start reading some of those posts and some of the stuff on there. You'll see something very, very soon which will be very, very useful for you and your business. One place where you can go and see a lot of the videos that I've done, as well as some exclusive videos for people that are actually on that website as well. So that's very, very exciting. So I hope you've got that. So to be successful in network marketing, all you have to do is build leaders and make them successful. That is all you have to do to be successful in network marketing. Now, it is a little bit of a process, obviously. There is a little bit of a process to get to there, but in this webinar, I'm going to actually show you how that can become a reality with a few simple steps. You just got to implement them. So, a network marketing leader is someone who gets the most out of new distributors and helps them become more than they can become alone. There's someone who never complains to downline distributors. There's someone who has their own goals and aspirations. There's someone who steps into the meeting, to do the meeting if you're away. There's someone who is in control of their attitude and doesn't let any outside influences control their success. There's someone who stays a strong personal example of a steady focus on the ultimate goal. And there's someone who is loyal. So that is what a network marketing leader is. Well, that's what most people think that they actually are. So how many do you actually have in your team right now? If you haven't got a team already, don't worry, because you will be growing one. Whether you've been involved in the business, in your network marketing business for a week, a month, a year, it doesn't matter. The first date is the date you actually decided to start properly. Now, that's not just joining and going, right, I'm going to be becoming a network marketing professional, I'm going to be a big leader, I'm going to be great. It's actually the day you actually start doing something consistently on a day-to-day basis. So, I actually don't really say it's a certain date, I actually say it's a certain week, because that's the week I actually started. So, make a start today. So if you have one real leader in your group, then you will become financially fortunate. If you have two real leaders in your group, then you'll be independently wealthy, or most people will say rich. If you have 3, 4, or 5 real leaders in your group, then you probably miscounted. Leaders are very, very, very rare. And we're going to explain to you, what an actual leader is and how you can actually count them in your count. So really good people are not leaders. They are only really good people. I said to my father, who's obviously my upline, I said, Dad, I've got so many really good people in my organisation. And he said, yeah, but how many leaders? He kept asking me, how many leaders, how many leaders, how many leaders? And I actually read a book, and the information I've got onto for this webinar has actually come from this book, and I'll share that book with you at the end of the webinar. And after reading that book, my whole organisation, a whole look on my organisation completely changed. So what I'm about to share with you, don't be depressed about it. It's something to be excited about for the future. So anyway, next point, leaders don't quit. Now, we spend most of our lives quitting. We quit school, we quit jobs, we quit New Year's resolutions, we quit diets, and a lot of people now actually quit on their marriages. We just are quitting. That's our nature. We are quitters. We are professional quitters. And because people come and go, you cannot build a team strictly on distributors. You need a team of leaders. Leaders will stay through the hard times and enjoy the good times with you. True friendships come from going through tough moments together. It's very, very, very important that you understand this fact. If you had a team of 5 or 2 leaders, that's more important than having a team of 100 distributors, because you'll see what happens when you grow your team. Some people go, they move on to the next shiny penny, they move on, different things happen in their lives, but Leaders stay true and loyal to themselves, they stay true and loyal to you, and they don't quit until they get the job done. And even when they have got the job done, it's so financially rewarding is they don't stop anyway. So it's very important to have them. How to find leaders, though, especially the rare leaders, there's two ways. There's either paying them to join, or there's working closely with someone. Now, I'm just going to explain now, buying people does not work, as eventually people will offer a better deal and they will leave. There's many different companies now that some of you might be aware of that actually offer people money to join if they meet certain criteria and hit certain benchmarks. But I'm telling you now, as soon as another deal comes across, they'll jump for that deal. Let's say someone offered you $500 to join their company, and then another company offers you $501. You're going to go with $501 if you're that type of person. You do not want people in your team like that. You just don't. So basically, what you want to do is find someone who is not a leader and someone who is dedicated and wants to learn this business. Now, what will actually happen after 6 months of hard work with this person is you'll get someone who both appreciates you, is loyal to you, and to be honest with you, they might end up actually knowing the business more than you. I've got people already in my team, for instance, Alan Platt, Sergey Kocherin. They know the business potentially even more than I do. They have skills far greater than I have, but I spent the time with both of them basically to grow into the leader that they need to become to be able to earn, five-figure monthly incomes and eventually five-figure weekly incomes and one day even five-figure daily incomes, because I know it's going to happen. But it does take a good 6 months of hard work with that person, focusing on that person. To find that person, you do need to go through a lot of people. Well, in this webinar, we're actually going to show you how you can sort through those people and what's going to be possible once you find those people and how to. So, quick test. This is going to be two very short tests, and it's to see if you're learning already so far. So, intelligence test. You've got two options, and I want you to tell me what is your answer. So, question number one, or answer number one that's possible. You work hard and sponsor hundreds of distributors. You hold opportunity meetings every week. You solve problems and change companies just once or twice. And at the end of 3 years, you have nothing. Or number two is you develop 1 or 2 leaders over 3 years and become rich, retired, secure, and very, very happy. I think you can, if anyone's chosen anything but option two, then you failed this test. Option 2 is obviously what you're going to go with. The second test is the commitment test, and this is what's going to happen to you when you ask this question. You're going to ask your potential leader this: how will you work this business? And this means really towards commitment, not just like, oh, I'm going to give away the apps, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to give away the product, I'm going to send links to people, blah, blah, blah. It's basically 3 options. Well, I'll try it, or I'll do the best I can, or I'll do whatever it takes. I want you to answer what you originally thought to yourself when you first joined. Did you think to yourself, oh, I'll give it a go for a year? Or did you say, oh, I'll do the best I can? Or did you say, oh, I'll do whatever it takes? I'll be honest now, I said, oh, I'll give it a try. And then after a few months, I said, I'll do the best I can in a year. That's basically what I said. But as I understood the power of the business after about 3 or 4 or 5 months from that point, I realized I'm going to do whatever it takes to become the leader I need to become in order to grow a 6-figure income and then eventually a 7-figure income. So basically, obviously it's the first step in becoming a leader, but you can sort through a lot of people to find those that you think is worthy of your time by basically asking those 2 simple tests. And don't even label it as a test. Basically say, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to move companies, do meetings every week and sponsor loads of distributors, but at the end of 3 years have nothing for it because you keep moving company? Or would you basically prefer to work on building a handful of leaders, maybe 1 or 2 leaders, in fact, over the next 3 years to be basically financially fortunate, financially independent? So that's what you've got to be asking yourself. And remember, it only takes 1 true leader to make you financially fortunate. For those of you who know me, I've obviously got I've sponsored just almost 70 people now in my network marketing business in the last 3 years. And one of those people actually is my main leader, my great friend. He's a Russian guy living in the UK, and he is responsible for the majority of my business. I obviously get check match on him. It's part of my company's pay plan, and it's incredible that the fact that spending good quality time with him for a long period of time is we've got a loyalty and commitment to each other that we'll help each other succeed no matter what. And really does only take one true leader to make you financially fortunate. For those of you who know me, I make a multiple six-figure income, with network marketing and online marketing, through this, basically, through one leader that I've devoted some of my time and energy and effort into. And I'm not saying you're going to move into their house. I just mean that you're going to grab them by the hands and teach you everything that you know for them to be better. Now, you are going to need the help of your upline because you might not know it all right now anyway. But there's many, if you obviously your company has successful leaders, there's many people that can help you, and they'll be willing to help you as long as the leader is willing to help themselves as well, and it's not a waste of time. Because one thing the successful people in these companies and MLM companies don't like to do is they don't like to waste their time. They're doing it to be financially free at the end of the day. So, how to build a team of leaders? There are 3 steps to master. Number 1, define what a leader is. Number 2, how do you actually find the leaders? And number 3, what do you actually have to teach the leaders to have a team full of leaders? So, define what a leader is. It's easier to find someone when you actually know what they look like. Yeah, I mean, it's like, where's Wally, when you actually know what he looks like, you got to find him. You can find him. If someone said, oh, try and find Wally, and you have no idea what he even looks like, how are you ever going to find him? You're never going to be able to find him. So, leaders are professional students of the business. Leaders are people that do the business with or without you, and leaders are professional problem solvers. Now, don't be scared by any of this. Don't be scared by any of this at all. And if you actually think you're one of these already, it does go in depth a little bit more. So I'm actually going to do a little test. If there is a problem in your team, big or small, does it filter to you? And I haven't written it down, and if you actually have a problem that comes to you, do you go to your upline? If the answer is yes, and basically it filters up to you and you go to your upline, then you're not a leader, and you don't have any leaders in your team. People moan to their upline leader, but in reality, if there's a problem in your team, such as, oh, the auto ship payment didn't go through, or your product didn't arrive on time, or you didn't receive your commissions on time, don't complain to your upline leaders, complain to the company. And guys, mistakes are happening. Humans make mistakes. Have you ever made a mistake in your life? Yes. Nothing's perfect. We'll cover that in a little bit. But, if there's a problem in your team, big or small, does it filter to you? If it does, then you haven't got any leaders in your team. And that's why you need to teach people to become leaders in your team. And if you're somebody who basically filters it up to your upline, learn a lesson and contact the company about that issue. Okay? So, how do you actually find leaders? The second part. We covered this earlier. The best way to find them is by scratch. Obviously, you don't want to buy leaders or pay for them to join. So the best way is to actually build them from scratch. Every leader is different. Don't spend too much time trying to find people exactly like you. I'm going to just give you an example now of 2 of my leaders, which I mentioned already before, Sergey and Alan. Now, I am obviously 27 years old, from Liverpool, and my background is basically growing up. It's been going to university. Now, Sergey is, maybe he's, similar height to me, a little bit shorter, a little bit more chunky than I am. He's got long hair, he's Russian, he was a restaurant owner until he retired his restaurant with the business. He speaks both English and Russian, a little bit of Chinese, he knows many different languages actually. And Alan Platt, he's from Manchester, he's older than me, he's a 5th Dan master martial arts instructor. He's got a multi-million-pound property portfolio. He used to have an architect's practice. Guys, they're nothing like me. People don't have to be exactly like you to be leaders. So don't focus on that. Just focus for people who are dedicated and willing to learn the business and committed. Okay. So how do I know who's got what it takes to become a leader? Basically, do not believe what people say. Only observe what people do, and then give them this test I'm about to give. Send them your company's getting started guide, if they have one, or a book, or a magazine. To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter what it is, but say, listen, you're going to read this, you're going to read this guide, you're going to read this book, you're going to read this magazine in the next 48 hours, and you're going to give me a call. So go through this guide and call me in 48 hours. You know, excuses or action. Follow the action. If people go, oh no, I can't do it in 48 hours, I've got work to do, or oh, I've got to look after my daughter, or oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Well, okay, they're not going to be someone you're not going to work with. It doesn't mean they won't be a leader. It just means they aren't, you know, they're just not worth your full commitment at this point. I know I've said they aren't worth your full-time commitment in this, but they aren't worth your full commitment at this point. If someone's not willing to take the action there and then, you know, and then over the next 48 hours to read a very short book or a magazine or even a video, then they ain't worth your time spending 6 months with them hard work. This is when you win. This is when you find someone that calls you way before the 48 hours is up with incredible excitement. I've had people, for instance, Sergey, he's called me up literally as soon as I've sent him basically a link to a video about the company. He said, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" You know, and we were just straight away. I was like, "This guy's someone I'm going to work with. This guy is," and especially being Russian as well. For all you Russians listening out there, you know, it's very, well, for me, it's very rare to find someone who's very excited, but I love the Russian culture. They're awesome. So, yeah, so again, this happens when someone calls you at 6 o'clock in the morning saying, sorry, I can't sleep. I need to call you. I need to let you know. You know, I've gone through that thing. I'm halfway through it, and, you know, I'm just so excited. This is just amazing. Get them to complete everything. And if they call you before the time is up, happy days. If they call you on the deadline of the 48 hours, then that's great too. But if they don't, then you can cross them off the list of who you're going to be working with. And be warned, don't waste precious leader building time with distributors that don't pass this test. Don't think that even because they haven't, it's going to be someone that you're going to want to work with. Seriously, you're wasting your time. Because if they ain't prepared to read that, then they're never going to be prepared. And if someone's in your team that's, you know, not stepped up at the moment, then maybe even try this test on your team now to see where they stand. Maybe see what that happens. If you've got a team of 10, 20, 100, 300, 500, 1,000 people, maybe even, you know, if you're thinking, I want to dedicate the next 6 months working closely with someone for them to become a leader, give this test to them first. Let's see if they can. Obviously, if they've watched this webinar, they might understand the importance of it, but, you know, it's a test. At the end of the day, some people who even know about the test won't even pass it, unfortunately. Okay, so what do you actually teach leaders? Now, once you teach a distributor to be a good distributor, it means you have taught them all about the product, all about the company, how to be loyal, how to be positive, how to duplicate. But now you have a good distributor. You need a leader. You need a leader. So what are you actually going to teach them? What are you actually going to teach them? And this is the big point of this webinar, really. You're going to teach them the way they think. The way they think. It's all about the way the distributor/leader thinks. So distributor thinking gets distributor results and gets distributor-sized bonus checks, right? Everyone has problems. Leaders and distributors face the same problems every single day. Leaders don't become leaders because of lack of problems. It's just not the way. I mean, they become leaders because of the way, you know, of how they think and handle problems. It doesn't cost anything, absolutely nothing. It doesn't cost anything to change your thinking, but it is a process. It is a process, and I want you to understand that leader thinking gets leader results, gets leader-sized bonus checks. Every single person in this company that's earning a decent check, you know, $1,000 a week plus, they all think differently to those who are making $0 to $100 a week, you know, even $100 to $100 a month. They all think totally different because they don't let negativity impact their lives. Yeah, they basically, and this is what I'm going to teach you to do now. So this is what you're going to do, and you can do this after the webinar, during the webinar, in your spare time, whatever. But it's very important that you do this, and this is what you want to do. I had this list at home. You know, I've written this list tons and tons of times. There's loads of examples of it. So first, I want you to write down all the everyday problems you might face in your business, such as people rejecting you, quitting on you, their auto ship declines, you know, that they moan and complain to you, they make excuses, blah, 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 blah. Now, second, I want you for each problem, so making maybe another column, I use an Excel spreadsheet. On the next column, basically write, for every problem, write down what you would represent distributor thinking and what you would represent leaders thinking. Okay, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that in a minute. So you're going to basically write in column 2 the distributor thinking, and in column 3 what you represent the leadership thinking or leader thinking. So third, write down any appropriate stories you could tell your potential leader to change them, says him, change their thinking from distributor thinking to leader thinking. And this is exactly what you'll be teaching your distributors to do. You're getting them to think differently from the start. Okay, and I'm going to explain what that's all about a bit later on in this webinar, which is is not not that much longer to go. So example of this is someone saying my sponsor doesn't help me. I can't become a leader because my sponsor doesn't help me. Boo hoo hoo. This is what you want to basically say. Has anyone in your upline become successful? Treat them as your upline instead. You don't have to use personal upline as your mentor. Keep going until you find someone and you find your personal success partner. You know what the incredible thing about this company is? There are so many leaders that are successful in this business. All you have to, and it all comes from one. The way network marketing works is it all has to come from someone. You don't just join a robot or whatever. So it's very important. So you're up, like you might find your personal success partner is Simon Brooks. It might be me. It could be Alan Platt. It could be Sergey. It could be Susan Evans. It could be Gerwin Duggan. It could be Manesh Padir. It could be Bong Panaligan. It could be Kirit Pankania. There's many different people that can teach you every single step of the way. There's people all over the world. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to ask this. Well, are there any leaders in your company? Are there any leaders in the network marketing in our business? Yes, there are. Well, they will have faced the exact same problems as you at some point. They changed their thinking, and now look at them. Guys, everyone's faced the same problems at some point. There's no new mistakes. There's no new problems in network marketing. They've all been done and figured out before. And all the top earners have gone through them 1,000 times more than you ever have. Got to deal with problems every single day. But you know what? It's part of the business. It's absolutely part of the business. And guess what? You have to be good at handling problems. It's the business. Don't be scared. Don't be frightened. Don't think, oh, I can't be dealing with that. Because right now you probably can't. But guess what? You're not going to be a leader after day one. It might take 6 to 18 months to have the foundations of a leader. But why not start right now? Guys, it's very important to understand that. And I've just seen now that I've actually that's awesome. Just passed my record now. There's over 350 people here on this webinar. So that's absolutely awesome, guys. I appreciate you all as well. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I hope you're getting some value as well. But we've still got some more to cover. So instead of jumping from company to company and failing every time and your friend's not picking up the phone to your next call, because of all the problems you're facing or whatever, and your friend's now thinking, oh, this guy just keeps jumping from company to company. He's just going to be calling me to tell me about his new sweet deal. Understand that all network marketing companies have problems. You simply choose which company to have your problems with. Yeah. The problem is that most of you've got to go, you all blame a company that you're working with. And guys, realistically, it's you. It's you. I'm sorry, but it's you. We all have the same product. We all have the same compensation plan. We all have the same system. We all have, technically we all have the same uplines. It's you. You're the only variable of this. You're not putting any action in, and if you are, you may be doing the wrong thing. So again, you need to consult with your personal success coach, your upline. Now, there's a reason why I think women are particularly good at this, especially obviously with what's going on in Kazakhstan. In my organization, it's basically full of women. And this is the reason why I think they're so successful, is they understand that all men have problems. You simply choose the man you wish to have your problems with. Now, obviously, I'm a man, but I understand that women think like this. I could be wrong, granted, I could be wrong, but I believe this is, all men. This is what I seriously believe why women are so successful in this business. And again, it's come from the book as well. It's not just something I've just made up out of thin air. So how to handle problems. It's very, very simple. If a company, if it's a company issue, pass the problem to the company, but don't look for perfection, as you will never ever find it. I'm not saying that, perfection is absolutely perfect. You're not going to find that. The company I'm involved with is as close to perfection as I can think of, but it still has things it needs to improve on. There's it's absolutely a certainty with anything. It's a certainty with growth of companies. Even Facebook's not perfect. Even Google's not perfect, and they're two of the most valuable and appreciated companies on the planet. I'm going to use this simple question is if you have people that can, continue to say different problems are stopping them from building. Yeah. So, for example, um, does not having an upline have anything to do with you locating and developing your 3 or 4 good leaders? No, it doesn't. That is your goal. This is what you need to be doing. You need to be locating and developing your 3 or 4 good leaders, and that doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if the dog ate your kid's homework. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter anything, because your goal is to find, locate, develop 3 or 4 good leaders over a period of time. And to do that, you're obviously going to be sponsoring a lot of people yourself, and then you're going to be digging in depth to find the people within the different lines that you're gonna be working with. And remember, we don't become successful leaders by solving these problems, and we don't become successful leaders by sponsoring and replacing temporary distributors. Okay? Even the president and the Pope can't solve all the problems. Understand that. They can't. They have all the resources necessary, and they can't even solve all the problems in the world. So I want you to remember, guys, we become successful leaders by locating and developing 3 or 4 other good leaders. Problem handling and problem solving is just the beginning of what you have to do, but you have to be able to problem solve. Have to be. Whether it's a small problem or a big problem, whether it's somebody's joined in the wrong leg, or maybe the sponsor was incorrect, or they set up their back office incorrectly, or they did this or do that. It doesn't matter how small the problem is. Problems will happen. Get over it, deal with it, and and move on, and continue looking and locating and developing 3 or 4 other good leaders. I'm going to keep saying it. So that's why it's in capitals, in red and in bold, because you've got to locate and develop 3 or 4 other good leaders. So make the decision. I've said this sentence, make the decision, about 100 times over the last week, in videos, in webinars, in trainings, in Skypes, interviews, everything. Decide to change your thinking. Decide to become a leader. Decide to locate and develop 3 or 4 good leaders. Decide to build leaders and make them successful. Guys, if you do this, I guarantee you, within the next 6 to 12 months, you will have an organization growing that's so strong and so stable that you'll be thankful for this webinar. But guess what? You have to make the decision to do something today. So guys, that's basically the webinar. Now, I did actually mention at the start of the webinar that there was a book about this, but I actually learned all this information, and it's absolutely incredible, because I would never in a million years have imagined that the author of this book, is actually someone I'm going to be sharing a stage with in September 12 and September 13, a European convention. So for details on the European convention and the book, you can actually go over to www.frazerbrooks.com, and there's a post, and it basically is titled "How to Be a Success in Network Marketing." You can see there, how to be a success in network marketing. It's one of the blog posts. You can actually click on that. You can see a recording of this webinar, and also at the bottom, there's a button that says "Click here" towards the bottom. Click on that, and it'll take you to the Amazon link where the book is, and you can obviously see more about the author. And there's also a link on there to the European Convention as well. I'm so excited for that person to be coming and sharing better information than I've just shared here. A fraction of the cost of what you can ever expect to get this information for, other than this obviously being free. So guys, with that, next week's webinar is going to be fantastic. I've got an amazing interview lined up with the world's 2014 best trainer, and the company I'm involved in, they're the actual top recruiter in that company. So it's guaranteed to be a fantastic interview. You're going to learn a lot about both him and the way he does things, and the reason why he's planted with the company he's planted with. So guys, with that, have a great day, have a great week, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.